I think what sets Western River Expeditions apart from other companies is our people.
You teach them all these things, they thought they knew before, but this is the river. So, and I really love that change that happens.
It's so important to educate our passengers about the places that we're in, because not everyone gets the opportunity to go to these places.
But it kind of compares rivers to veins and arteries. It brings life, it brings water to areas that really need it.
A lot of people who count on us to educate people about the backcountry. Can't teach about the backcountry without going into the backcountry. It is definitely a delicate balance.
I started with the company in 1984 as a river guide. Western River Expeditions has been doing whitewater rafting trips since 1961. They're one of the oldest rafting companies in the world and one of the most successful. We consider ourselves on the leading edge of innovation in our industry, primarily in the area of customer service, but also in terms of the equipment we use and our efforts to be on the leading edge of environmental, not just compliance, but innovation and how we do things so that we're protecting and caring for the resources. Most people are mostly environmentally conscious, but a handful of people can cause a lot of damage.
For me, becoming a private boater is in my future. It's something that I'm really excited about. And what's hard about people that go down privately or companies that go down rivers and they don't care for the land around them, what they're basically doing is a huge screw you to everyone that comes down after. So that's why it's so frustrating, especially for us.
So we get the whole boat involved in paddling towards it or gathering the trash. And I like to tell people on my boat, if they see something, if they're able to grab it, if it's safe.
Educating passengers and people about the environment and about the river, that stuff is important to create this love and care for the environment, for the river ecosystem, for how fragile the river ecosystem can be.
One of the big wastes that we saw on the river was that we had to take water for people and that we would take paper cups for people to use to drink out of during the day. A lot of times people would drink out of that cup, they'd throw it in the bottom of the boat, and then the river guides would have to try to gather up that trash before it flew out of the boat, and then inevitably a paper cup would end up going out of the boat.
We made an investment to where every one of our guests is getting, as part of their trip, whether it's just a short half-day trip or a week-long trip, they're getting a reusable, a nice insulated water bottle.
Obviously the water bottle is more expensive than a paper cup is, but for us, the long-term goal was to be able to provide, better experience for our people, to provide them with, maybe a souvenir from their river trip, and also help us to reduce our waste and reduce the amount of garbage that goes into the river.
The river has made me who I am, and so for governments and people and all of these outside sources to come in and to ruin the place that's my home, the place that I love more than anything, is so, offends me to my core, So I think that it's so important that we keep these places safe, because we deserve to have these places for a really long time.
We have created a document, we call it our environmental management plan, that describes our best practices from operationally through the whole organization. Everything from how we're going to talk to our guests about the environment, everything from recycling programs to what is known in our industry as pack it in, pack it out, even so far as what we call micro trash.
When we're on a trip, we hand out what we call Western's Fine China, which is a paper towel, but on the river, that's always a commodity. So we call it your fine china, and we use it to prevent against micro trash, which is just any small pieces of food or foreign objects that will fall onto the sand and disrupt the ecosystem there. How important it is to watch out for even just these small bits of food gives the impression that bigger things will have a bigger impact.
It's not just for fun. It's not there just for an adventure. It's not there just so you can have a good time. It's good to experience, there is a fun part to it, but there's so much more to the environment that it provides for us, and it provides for the guests, and provides for the passengers. It gives solitude that you can't find anywhere else.
It's one place that a lot of us can find peace and get away from the hustle and bustle of life.
In our work and in our environment, it's definitely a delicate balance to try to balance, a resource versus, making a living.
As much as I have, carved through canyons have carved who I am. Like, it's so cheesy, but it's just so true. And so I am forever in debt to the Colorado River for giving me everything that I love.
Yeah, so to people who don't respect Mother Nature and the environment and the river, basically I'd just be like, bro, come on. I'd say, you can go to hell. That's what I would say. If they were standing right here, I'd stand up and be like, hey, let's go. Right now.